Another Day, Another Lesson by UPSC and more. Federalism is a system of government that divides powers and responsibilities between the central government and the state governments. India has a federal system of government, where the central government and the state governments share powers and responsibilities. The concept of federalism in India is enshrined in the Constitution of India. This article will explain the concept of federalism in India, its working, and the challenges faced in its implementation. Concept of federalism in India. The Constitution of India defines India as a union of states and establishes a federal system of government. The Constitution provides for a division of powers between the central government and the state governments. The Constitution assigns certain powers exclusively to the central government, certain powers exclusively to the state governments, and certain powers that are shared between the central government and the state governments. The Constitution also provides for a system of checks and balances between the central government and the state governments. This system ensures that no government becomes too powerful and that the rights of the citizens are protected. The Constitution provides for an independent judiciary that can interpret the Constitution and settle disputes between the central government and the state governments. Working of federalism in India. The working of federalism in India can be seen in the following areas. Division of powers. The Constitution of India divides powers between the central government and the state governments. The central government has exclusive powers in areas such as defence, foreign affairs, and currency. The state governments have exclusive powers in areas such as health, education, and public order. The powers that are shared between the central government and the state governments include taxation, social welfare, and economic planning. Independent judiciary. The Constitution of India provides for an independent judiciary that can interpret the Constitution and settle disputes between the central government and the state governments. The judiciary acts as a check on the powers of the central government and the state governments. The judiciary ensures that the rights of the citizens are protected. Constitutional amendments. The Constitution of India can be amended by the central government and the state governments. The Constitution can be amended by a two-thirds majority of both the Houses of Parliament and by the ratification of at least half of the state legislatures. This ensures that both the central government and the state governments have a say in the amendment process. Challenges faced in the implementation of federalism in India. The implementation of federalism in India has faced several challenges. Some of the challenges are as follows. Centre-state relations. One of the main challenges in the implementation of federalism in India is the relationship between the central government and the state governments. The central government often interferes in the affairs of the state governments. This interference can take the form of imposing policies, regulations, or laws that are not in the best interest of the state governments. Fiscal federalism. Another challenge in the implementation of federalism in India is fiscal federalism. Fiscal federalism refers to the distribution of financial resources between the central government and the state governments. The state governments often complain that they do not receive enough financial resources from the central government to carry out their responsibilities. Linguistic and regional differences. India is a diverse country with many linguistic and regional differences. These differences can create conflicts between the central government and the state governments. The state governments often feel that their linguistic and regional interests are not adequately represented by the central government. State autonomy. The Constitution of India provides for state autonomy. However, in practice, the state governments do not always have the autonomy they are entitled to. The central government often interferes in the affairs of the state governments and curtails their autonomy. Conclusion. Federalism is an important concept in India's constitutional framework. It provides for a system of government that divides powers and responsibilities between the central government and the state governments. The working of federalism in India can be seen in the division of powers, independent judiciary, and the process of constitutional amendments. However, the implementation of federalism in India has faced challenges such as centre-state relations, fiscal federalism, linguistic and regional differences, and state autonomy. To address these challenges, there have been several initiatives such as the Sarkaria Commission and the Punchhi Commission that have made recommendations on improving centre-state relations and fiscal federalism. The creation of the National Institution for Transforming India, NITI Aayog, in 2015 has also aimed to improve coordination between the central government and the state governments. In conclusion, federalism in India is an important concept that provides for a division of powers and responsibilities between the central government and the state governments. While there have been challenges in its implementation, there have also been initiatives to address these challenges and improve centre-state relations and fiscal federalism. It is important to continue to work towards improving the implementation of federalism in India to ensure that the rights of the citizens are protected and that the country continues to develop and prosper. Thanks for watching.